some they're come back and they're good.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Because this is something we've talked, in my live streams and the podcast that I go on every week. One thing that's consistently come up is why Skylar Thompson is your backup quarterback. Now, maybe you will tell me that he is a good player and is highly rated by Miami, and you think he's actually pretty good. My sort of perception was, if you have a quarterback who has had a history of concussions, and in fairness, if you go back to Alabama, he had a serious, was like a hip injury or something. So it's a quarterback who has missed some time in his career. I would have thought it would have been extremely predictable for you guys to have signed an experienced backup, somebody who has been there, done that, who started a lot of games in the NFL, because those backups exist. Like I think Jimmy G's is with the Rams, and you think, I don't know what his relationship is with Mike McDaniel, but he knows the offense, he knows the system. You don't want Jimmy G playing a whole season, but if he was coming in now, like I know from a Seahawks perspective, I'm thinking I've seen this guy play well against Seattle before. I've seen this guy lead the Niners, in deep playoff runs. So I know that that he's capable of that. Whether he's capable of it now, I don't know. But it would stand to reason that would perhaps give you a better chance of getting through however long Tua is going to be out than Skylar Thompson. But I don't know. I've not seen enough of. I've seen Skylar Thompson as much as everybody else. That I think it was like a playoff game when he played a couple of years ago. Like, what is the thought process on your backup situation?
Yeah. So I also put our admin, because he put it in the chat too. Everybody's rooting for Skylar to be good, but we did just sign Snoop Hundley off of Baltimore's practice squad. People are more excited to see him play than they are Skylar. He is the backup because we had we signed Mike White last year. We gave him good backup money, and he lost a job to Skylar Thompson in preseason. So honestly, as soon as Mike White got cut, honestly, even before that, after the first preseason game, most people wanted us to go sign our old friend Ryan Tannehill to come in and be the backup. So most people are not excited about it. To me personally, the big issue the first 2 weeks of the season has been, well, one is offensive line, but I don't think our play calling has helped much. And whenever Skylar's played, I feel like Mike McDaniel still tries to call it like Tua is in the game, and you can't do that. Everybody's rooting for him, but most of us are not excited about the backup situation.
I mean, that's certainly the thought process with the Seahawks fans is like, I don't really understand, or at least the ones I've spoken to, I don't really understand why we're playing Skylar Thompson this weekend. And if Tyler Huntley can come in and do a job, he's one of those players who, he feels ideal to come in and replace Lamar Jackson. And obviously he had that weird season where he got in the Pro Bowl, didn't he? Because people just basically voted him in. Yeah, he barely played or something. He played a game or something like that. But whether he can come in and do the Shanahan offense, I'd be quite skeptical of that. But look, I can remember for years in Seattle when we had Russell Wilson, it always kind of, because he was such an Iron Man, Russ, in his peak. You obviously, I know he's injured at the minute. The thought always felt like they didn't need to go and sign a backup. And then when we had to watch preseason games with whoever Seattle's backup was, it was torturous because it was someone who had no real reason to be there. And that was difficult. But he never missed a game, Ross, until he did stop missing games. With Tua, it just felt like, there's always a chance he's going to miss a couple of games somewhere down the road. So I'm a bit surprised that they haven't done more there.
Yeah. Honestly, even I'm fairly pro Tua, and I'm kind of shocked that we were content with Skylar Thompson too, especially because Mike White got beat. But